Hello, everyone. Very good evening. Thank you so much for joining the session. So let's wait for 5 more minutes for rest all to join, and we will quickly begin the session by 7:05. All right then. Hi everyone, and good evening again. My name is Siddhant Benkar. I'm currently working with Upgrad Student Success Team as a learning experience manager. So it's a warm welcome from my end for all of you. So welcome to the graduate certificate program, which is cohort 3, September 2023 by Upgrad. So I hope you all are excited to sell an incredible learning journey with Upgrad, because today we all have gathered today to prepare you for next few months. So here how the session is going to go. So first, we will start a session with Mr. Sudarshan and Raghavan. He is currently working with our content team as a manager. So he will give you a detailed description about the curriculum, content, and the learning journey. Then I'll be taking you all through the learning experience and the learning element to help you all provide with the overview of the program and its structure. Ahead of that, Mr. Akash Makkar, who is a seasoned data scientist, will give you all the gist of the industry and yeah, will give you the walkthrough of the industry relevant academics. Finally, we will conclude the session with a Q&A. So, on this note, I'll hand over the session to Sudarshanan to take it ahead. And everyone, just a request, in case if you have questions or so, please post it in the Q&A section. Over to you, Sudarshanan.
Hey, thanks, Siddhant. Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to uh, join the webinar. Please let me know if you can hear me properly in the chat if you can, right? Yeah, good evening to everyone. Great, nice. Great. So we'll start off with a quick look at the uh, the learning elements in the sense the topics and sort of the flow of skills and things like that, right? That we'll be going through in this program. So Siddhant, could you open up the presentation maybe?
Sure, I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Right. So in the meantime, just maybe I'll start, talking a little bit generally about the program. Oh, okay, great. So, yeah, welcome to the program. This is the GCP program in DS and AI, right? So let's first talk about the curriculum and the content. So before we get into the details, the curriculum and the content both are designed, with leading industry experts. So, we sort of have, consultations. We also have sort of, expertise from various industrial experts. We have data scientists and ML engineers, so on and so forth, right? And we also have consultation from sort of those industry experts who have a good business angle on these things, data analysis and data science and things like that. What is the business use, right, of all these things? So so the curriculum generally is, you can think of it as a blend of, statistics, technical, and business. Now, statistics in the sense that we all have to sort of come to terms with some statistics when we want to study data analysis, especially, right? We need some familiarity with mean, median, histograms, variance, all sorts of things like that, right? And when you do sort of very introductory machine learning later in the course, later in the program, you will also need to appreciate a bit of very sort of sufficient amount of linear algebra and things like that. So that's kind of where I would say part one, statistics, right? That's one aspect of the topics. The other aspect is the technical aspect. So we all have to familiarize ourselves with multiple tools, right? So we all say that Python is the you know primary sort of tool, and yes, it is the primary sort of tool, right, for a lot of data analysis, data science, ML, those kinds of things. But at the same time, we should also not forget that there are other tools which we need to be experts in, such as SQL and Tableau also for data visualization, so on and so forth, right? So technical skills is something, it's another aspect of the program, right? And business knowledge, in the end, we need to apply all of these things to actually sort out and solve real world problems, right? Given like last year's data set of some kind of business data, or let's say if I have data on movie ratings and things like that, can I use all this data, right, to figure out insights, right? Can I generate insights for my business? Can I get good decisions? Can I get good knowledge from that data and make decisions, right? So that's the business angle. That's the third angle that that the program will touch upon, right? So in the end, I mean, that's kind of what we want, right? We want to understand and use the stats and the technical and tools to solve business problems meaningfully and in an interpretable way, right? Great. We can move on to the next slide, Siddhant. Yeah. So we have a lot of as I said, instructors, experts, right? So we have Behzad Ahmadi, who's an ML engineer at Meta, ex data scientist at Walmart, right? We have S Anand, CEO of Gramner. It's a very sort of focused analytics field, right? So S Anand, he's kind of like he does very and his group Gramner, right? They do very focused and business specific and detailed analytics, things like that. We have Sajan Kedia, he's a senior engineering manager, right? Um, and we have Georgios, who's head of AI research at Atlas AI. So as you can see, right, we've sort of reached out to the best, right? So that we kind of have the right amount of the best learning experience in the right time, right? So for that, all of these instructors and industry experts help us in doing that. Okay, Siddhant. Yeah. So now comes the curriculum, and I might speak a little bit on this slide. So in terms of courses, right? So what you're seeing on the screen, the three red columns, I believe these are more or less courses, right? So first course, Python for data science, second course, SQL and other UI tools, third course, machine learning, right? And in a sense, these courses are designed in such a way that they are conceptually compact, as in, very similar and interdependent topics you will find in each course, right? So course one, Python for data science, this is where, so for example, to sort of execute the final end of the business problem solving pipeline, which you might end up using Power BI, Python, SQL, you might end up using ML models, whatever it is, right, to solve your business problems, right? To sort of go there, first we need to build, I would say, not just familiarity, but some amount of expertise in Python, right? It's more and more becoming sort of the go-to programming language in the whole world, right? And the advent of data science and machine learning has just boosted the popularity of Python, right? So right now it's kind of like the in-demand tool, right? So we'll be spending a lot of time, right, practicing and learning about Python. So we'll start off with basic programming, right? And I'll come to the second point in a bit, but let me first go through course one, right? In the first column. So we'll start off with programming in Python. Then we'll study specifically, libraries that are used. Many of us have sort of may have come across, these things, NumPy, Pandas, right? So we'll go deep into those. We'll understand those. What are the data structures there? What are the data types? How do you do all the debugging? And what do these methods give me, right? How to handle data in different dimensions, all sorts of things, right? So you'll study all of that. And then once you understand how to use Python to wrangle all this data, right, then you will go into exploratory data analysis. Now EDA, which is data analysis, right? There are different kinds of data analysis. EDA is kind of like a very popular kind of data analysis. That's where you kind of just you have your data, you're good at Python and stats to some extent, and you just want to analyze what's in the data, right, without any presuppositions and things like that. So there are many methods in that, right, in EDA. Now, before EDA, we need to do things like data cleaning, sorting. We need to structure the data properly, process it for the analysis. All of this is part and parcel of data pre-processing. Generally, people sort of put it together, right? Data pre-processing and EDA is kind of, they do it together. So all of that will be done. Now, if you're noticing on all three columns, if you notice, there is this mini project and course project, right? Each course has a mini project and then a course project. The course project is kind of like your, you can say, more dedicated project, right? And the mini project is kind of like an opportunity to practice. Note that both of these are projects, so there will be, grading, right, for both. So mini project, you can say, is kind of like, an opportunity to get ready for the course project. You can think of like that. So since it's a mini project, you will be expected to sort of work on that project alongside the general learning experience. So as you're studying NumPy, Pandas, as you're studying univariate analysis, multivariate analysis, all of that, right? As you're studying through the weeks, right? The mini project, you'll have to start doing that in parallel. Okay, so that's kind of how course one is. Now, just mentioning this additional bullet point, which may be sort of something which stands out, introduction to generative AI and prompting. So as you all may be aware, I think the generative AI is kind of, broken the records, right? It has disrupted the market, and it's kind of become the in a sense, it's kind of become, the cutting edge domain that everybody is researching, especially like computer scientists, data scientists, technical people, right? A lot of people are doing a lot of great work in generative AI. So the whole point is that generative AI can help us do everything I said much better and much faster. So I spoke about data cleaning, I spoke about data analysis, I spoke about data structuring, pre-processing, I spoke about understanding the various methods, right? Changing the sort of, doing things to the data, manipulating it, understanding it. Now, all of these things, of course, we need to know what's going on, right? Otherwise, I cannot say I know data analysis. We should know all of this, which is why we'll study all of this. At the same time, if I can be more efficient in these things, then why not? All right. So that's where generative AI and prompting and these kinds of things come in, right, in this program. So you will learn generally a little bit about what generative AI is, right? And we'll start focusing more on prompting these models. Prompting is just another, prompting is a word which just means querying or communicating, right? You can think of it as querying the model, or you can think of it as communicating with the model, right? So we have to learn those techniques so that we can query the model about our problem statement, right? And it can help us speed up our analysis. So this is kind of the manual way of, prompting, querying, right? That's stage one, manual. As you go through further next courses, right? Course 2, course 3, there are also additional automations available. So we'll come to that. In course 2, bread and butter, SQL, Tableau, these kinds of things. These are, kind of like fundamental tools, right, for data analysts and data scientists, right? These are like fundamental. SQL, as we all know, and we may have sort of seen, right? These are things. It's just a language, right? Structured query language. We use it to query databases, and a lot of the data in the world today, right? We do store them in a very structured way, right, in databases. So we'll be doing, we'll be spending quite some time on SQL. I believe it's about 4 weeks, right? So we'll do quite some, we'll gain a lot of expertise with SQL, and then we'll get into, visualizations and storytelling and those kinds of things, right? Now we know how to store our data, we know how to query the data, we know how to wrangle it, pre-process it, clean it, all of this, we are experts, right? So after that, it's time to start building reports, right? It's time to start doing the analysis visually, right? You show stages, you show various graphs, and essentially to put your point across, right, in a business setting. So that's kind of very important, right? So Tableau is one of the go-to tools for that. Another one is Power BI. Both are sort of used in the industry, so it's good to know both. And as you can see, again, there's a mini project and a course project, right? So that's course 2, and course 3 we will do. So what we'll do in course 3 is we'll sort of wrap this program up with a sort of introductory walk through the domain of machine learning, right? Now, in this course, what we'll do, first of all, we'll before we get into machine learning proper, we'll understand concepts such as inferential statistics and hypothesis testing, right? So that's kind of like your it's kind of like where you make decisions, or not decisions, you can say draw conclusions, right? You draw conclusions about large samples of data, right? Technically, like if I have to do long story short, inferential stats and hypothesis tests, why do we need it? if I'm working with large amounts of data, which I cannot even collect in the first place, then I have to make assumptions about the data, right? So then I should be able to sample randomly from real data. And then whatever I sample, I should be able to predict something on the actual population. So, I mean, it's easier said than done, right? There are a lot of things that go in that, which is, probability, distributions, variance, and all those kinds of things. So we'll do all that first, right? Drawing conclusions about population from samples. Now, from there, we'll move on, right? From there, we'll move on and we'll sort of go into proper machine learning, which is, a different, say, thought process, right? Completely different thought process from data analysis and things like that. Of course, they are related, right? They are dependent, but the thinking is very different. So we'll take a lot of time to understand, what is machine learning, what in what way should we be thinking about machine learning models, right? Do they work? Do they not work? How do I even, make a model for my data in my business, right? How to train it correctly for my business all of these things, right? So we'll do all of that. So we'll do both classification and regression. We'll also do unsupervised machine learning. And as you can see there, again, mini project, course project, and on top of that, we have a final, capstone for the program. Right now, if you notice in this course, we have additional generative AI skills, so advanced Gen AI tools and techniques. So here, we'll move away from basic prompting, prompt engineering, things like that, right? And we'll go to more advanced things like prompt templatization, um, and automating data analysis and automating machine learning. So again, as I said, automating does not mean that I don't need to know course 1 and course 2, right? If I don't know what's happening in course 1 and course 2, I'll not be able to judge whether the AI has automated my analysis properly. So I need to know all my topics in course 1 and course 2. But after I know that, I can automate so many things, right? Full data analysis ML pipeline can be automated using a lot of these AI tools. Okay. Having said that, I would like to again reiterate, if I don't understand data analysis, basic ML and all those kinds of things, then even if your AI automates things, how will you judge whether it is, useful for you or not, right? So that's kind of why it's in the third course. I think first, we should spend a lot of time understanding the basics and also parallelly using, prompting and sort of manual querying the AI models and all of that. Once we get a nice feel for that, let's go to automated, right? Let's understand how things can be, analysis can be done, you know, in a few clicks, right? So yeah, that's more or less the experience in terms of the learning flow. Note that the weeks are kind of like almost the same. I think it's the capstone, which is why there's 11 weeks. Otherwise, it's learning wise, it's 9, 8, 9 plus 2, right? 2 for the capstone. These do exclude exams, buffers, and holidays and things like that. Okay. Yeah, Siddhant, we can go to the next. Uh, yeah. So we also have, guided mentorships by industry experts. So you will sort of get access to, projects, and you'll work on real-time work situation, right? You'll kind of understand, you'll get a more of, what is actually going on in the industry, right? Although I would say that, the curriculum has been designed, pretty solidly, right? With all the consultation and involvement of the experts and things like that, right? On top of that, more exposure about the industry, right? So these projects are procured in collaboration with organizations, right? So there are various organizations with different backgrounds, industrial, functional backgrounds. So we sort of procure these projects and you'll sort of get the opportunity to work on those as well. And of course, you can get access also to the mentor, right? So they can sort of help you with project related queries, things like that. All right. Uh, yeah, Siddhant, I think we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So, see, now coming to certain expectations. Uh, See, if we want to sort of do this smoothly, right? If we want to understand everything smoothly and be on time, and the kind of issue with this, I think everyone also understands, right? If you miss 1 week of the program, for whatever reason, right? I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just presenting the facts to you. If you miss 1 week of the program, then you might find difficulty in sort of catching up, the next week and things like that. Of course, we have checks in place, right? We will of course release the recorded content to you. If there are live sessions, as on the top you can see the top row, it's recorded instruction live session, right? So the primary mode, right, we have two modes. One is LS live sessions, one is recorded. So in case there are any things like that, that okay, we missed a week or maybe half a week, whatever, we will definitely give you the recordings, we'll give you the help and all of that. But to the best of our abilities, as practically as possible, we should try to follow this table. Okay, so these are weekly numbers. What you're seeing on the last column are weekly numbers. So the recorded instruction, right, or the live sessions, or any combination of the two, you are expected to devote at least 8 to 10 hours in the week for this component, right, which is attending the live sessions and going through the recorded content, right? So learning weeks may be composed of any combination of the two. Mostly it will be homogeneous, but some learning weeks may be heterogeneous combinations. And then on top of that, you're going to of course have assessments, right? You're going to have practice quizzes, you're going to have graded assessments, and you're also going to have assignment submissions, right? So for that, typically what we would recommend is about 4 to 6 for those components, okay, per week. And finally, self-learning, and this could definitely vary, but self-learning essentially means what? It means trying to debug things, trying to practice different things, right, or revising the content. All these comes in self-learning. So about 2 to 4 hours, right, per week should go in this, right, as long as we focus on the topics at hand. So in total, what we generally recommend, or what generally we see that works, is about 14 to 20 hours per week, right, of learning time, of time from your side, right, of time devoted from your end, right? So that's kind of the recommendation which we would give, so that your experience remains smooth throughout the program, right? As I said, at any time you can reach out to upgrade, and if you sort of missed anything, or if any issues or technical things like that, no problem, right? You just reach out, we'll sort it out for you. But this is exactly what is recommended, right, Siddhant? I think we can yeah, so that's more or less from my side regarding the content and things like that. uh, I'll kind of hand this over to Siddhant now, so that he can walk you through the other components. Thank you. And if you do have questions, please you can raise questions, or even I believe there's an option to raise questions, right? So you can put in that. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Sudarshan, for throwing light on the curriculum and how the learning journey is going to be for the learners for next few months. So yeah, I'm back again, everyone. So, in case if you have any questions for Sudarshan, please feel free to post them in the Q&A section regarding the content part also, so that he'll take it up and he'll try to answer them in the chat section itself. All right. So I'm going back to the screen again. So I hope it's visible to everyone. Just quick yes. Perfect. All right. So yeah, I'll be giving you all a peek into the upgrade learning experience, grading structure, deadline, tech, non-tech support piece. So I'll start with the Learn platform. I believe most of you have already experienced it while going through your prep content. So this is basically a key feature for us because we believe in providing a unique learning experience, which has to be seamless. So you'll be spending a lot of time on your Learn platform. So you should actually go through all the elements whichever is present on the platform itself. Apart from that, we have also developed an application. So it's available for both Android as well as the iOS. So I actually vouch in for the app because you most of you are working professionals. So if you're commuting, like if you're traveling or maybe sort of busy and not able to access your system, so what you can do is you can download the app. You can go through the lectures, notes as well in the app, right? Try to attempt the questions from that. Submissions may not happen there, but then you can try and attempt the questions through the app. So this is quite helpful, as guided by Sudarshan. And in the previous slide, that time management is actually a key element in this program. So this is how you can manage your time, right? Even if you are away from the system, or if you do not have access to the enough enough system, so then you can just go through the app and you can continue your learning, right? Yeah. Then next thing which I want to talk about is the in-platform content. So if I talk about the learning experience, this is your primary mode of learning. That in the platform, we have modules which are structured into the different segments and the sections, right? And each of them will have the video lectures, then platform text, that is the notes will be available in those sections. There will be assessments, that is the graded segments, right? And there will be additional links, those are the additional resources basically. So these modules which I'm talking about, you must have already experienced them in the prep content also. So that is going to be your primary mode of learning, along with the live sessions which are going to provide, right? But your main focus should be on completing the content from the platform itself, from the recorded lectures, right? Second, as I've said, key second key element, that is a live session. So there will be live sessions happening over the week, right? And these live sessions will provide you with the opportunity to understand the concepts live from the subject matter expert. So that is like the industry implementation of whatever you're learning from the theoretical learning of yours. The subject matter experts will give you all the understanding from the industry standpoint, right? So, as I've said, like practical applications, concepts, experience, hands-on coding, under the guidance of mentor will be taking place in these sessions. So, I strongly recommend to you all to join these sessions, right? I am sure, like you must be thinking that what if you miss out on the session timelines because of the prior commitments or maybe or so. So please be rest assured, because we will be keeping you all posted, like at least 3 to 4 days prior before the session is being scheduled. Reason being, so that you can plan your weeks better. Apart from that, in case if you miss out on the session, so everything is recorded. So I hope, am I audible to you all? Just got a message from one of the learners that
No, I'm just sort of putting some answers in the chat. And
okay,
there are
okay,
some other
okay.
questions too, which you can, I think, look at Siddhant in a while. But yeah, you're audible and your screen's visible. No,
Okay,
no
okay. I
issues
got a
with that.
message from a learner that I'm not audible. No worries. I'll
Yeah,
continue.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, talking about the session, yeah. So, yeah, in case if you miss out on the session, these sessions are all in terms of all recorded session it is. So in case if you miss out, you can come back on the same platform, right? Another similar tab of live sessions, you will find the recordings. So these recordings are available within 24 hours from the lecture is conducted. All right. Moving on to the next slide. So this is like assessments and gradings. So all the assessments which you're going to do are the will be graded, right? Most of them will be non-graded as well, but graded assignments will be marked as graded in the segments, right? So these graded assignments will be graded by the graders. Assignment submission will happen on a learn platform itself, and those will be routed automatically to the graders, right? We have the expert teaching pool in the backend, and those will be doing sharing the feedbacks on the submissions. Graders will evaluate whatever the submission you have done it, and will provide a brief feedback on it, right? In case if you are doing something wrong which is not actually expected as per the answer sheet, then the graders will give you a brief feedback that how it can be corrected, right? In case if something is wrong, right, then the graders will definitely share a feedback how we can improve the submission and whatever the answers you have given in terms of the knowledge base. So the academic team does continuous sampling of the assignments and answers with the help of the master graders in order to ensure that the high quality of the graders pool and to maintain the standardization in the grading, right? Moving on to the next slide, we have this segments of the weightage. So if you see on this, as you can see on the screen, that quizzes which I'm talking about, that is the in module, there will be questions. Those are the graded questions. So that can be MCQs, that is multiple choice questions, and the second is the project. So the weightage in this form, that 60% will be given to your in platform in module content quizzes, and the 40% weightage will be given for your project submission, right? This is how it comes to 100%. Now, in order to pass in this course, you must secure at least 40% in the overall course, basically, right? So I highly recommend all of you to be very regular in the program, right? If the deadlines are there for the modules, ensure that you are submitting the projects and the MCQs within that deadline itself, right? Because like at upgrad, we take this very seriously, that the passing criteria, if it's specified, then we have to ensure that it's met to be eligible for the certificate, right? Because I understand most of you have been told to gain the knowledge, but then certificate is also equally important, and to work towards that as an outcome, you all have to ensure that this is achieved, right? Moving on to the next slide. So, yeah, as I was talking about a deadline, so we follow very strict deadlines, and it's important that you complete the module as per the due dates mentioned. So, almost all the modules will have the deadline specified on the platform. So, as soon as you see the module, it's being published, it will come with the deadline itself, right? And you must adhere to that. So, having said that, you need to find your own pace, right? As given in the previous slides about the time management, you have to manage in the beginning of the week itself, right? And you have to give the dedicated time for the practice, live sessions, and the platform content, right, from the very beginning itself. Otherwise, then you won't feel cumbersome in terms of that. So to support you in this journey, we have introduced you all the extensions as well. So I understand that most of you are working professionals, so you might have commitments. So to deal with that, we have given you all the extensions on the platform. So for example, if you have any submission due and if you feel that you are not able to complete it within the timelines, there is a button available on the same submission itself, and you can click on that before the deadline, and you can extend the timeline by one more week. So, for example, if any submission is due, if suppose say today on 29th September at 11:59 p.m., right? If you do realize that you're not able to complete it by tonight, then you can just click on the button simply before the deadline, and so that the extension can be applied for that module. And this extension will be of 1 week. So basically, if you have a deadline today, then it will be extended by the 1 week, that is by next Friday. All right. So this is something which you are supposed to do it at your end as per your convenience. But just make sure that you are raising the extension from the platform before the deadline itself, right? So the reason what I'm talking about a deadline here is that, see, if the extension is given and if you have extended a module by 1 week, then you have to ensure that whatever the deadline for the next module is, you're completing the same module at the same time, right? Because the whole cohort progresses together, right? In case if you are delaying the particular submission, right, and if you're submitting it next week, the whole it will be applicable for the whole cohort, right? So deadline cannot be extended for the cohort level, it will be for the individual level. All right. So yeah, and let's talk about the plagiarism here. So it's a big no for the plagiarism. Reason being, in the past we have seen like couple of cohorts where 20% of the cohort was marked fail because they have copied the submissions. So we follow very strict rule for the plagiarism here. So yeah, we I understand that there might be circumstances where you have to take the references, but there has to be a threshold for it. So threshold as in, like, if you're taking the reference from the internet or maybe from your friends family, right? So there has to be a threshold of at least 40%, right? It should not be more than that. You cannot copy the whole assignment from your friends, right? Or maybe from the internet, right? You can take the references and you can work on your assignment. We have the specific tools which actually checks for the plagiarism, so avoid it, right? Let's not do it and let's not get caught in it. Yeah. Apart from that, as I have highlighted in the previous slide, it is must and mandatory to secure 40%. So start working towards it, and from the day one itself, right? So that we all will be aligned on this from the day one. Moving on to the next slide, as I've said, like we understand that there might be deadlines which are strict, there might be submissions or the academic concepts which are difficult, but then nothing to worry about it, because we have the dedicated support channels, right, for the academic as well as the non-academic queries. So let's talk about the academic support channels. So in the platform itself, in the Learn platform itself, we have integrated discussion forum. So this forum will have the teaching associates, right? Apart from that, there will be peers, that is your co-learners also from the same batch will be a part of the discussion forum. So if you come across any academic queries while going through your content, please feel free to post them in the discussion forum. All right. So whatever the questions you are going to raise, academic questions, I would be more specific about it. So if you are raising your academic questions in the discussion forum, teaching associates will review and answer it. But before that, maybe your peers will answer those questions for you. Why we do that is because we want to encourage peer-to-peer engagement, right? You should interact with your co-learners from the same batch. This will definitely help you build a networking, right? And of course will enhance the support as well. So once you post your question, your peers will answer it, and teaching associate will verify it. In case if your peers are not able to answer, then there are teaching associates, they will respond to your academic query within the span of 24 working hours, right? And whatever the answers your peers are giving, definitely please be rest assured, teaching associates will be verifying those answers, so that you have the assurance that whatever the answers you have received from your peers, those are validated and verified, right? There might be second instances talking about the non-academic query. Sorry, talking about the academic query as in the content error. So in case if you come across any content error or maybe any error in the text or the videos or the assignment you want to report to the dedicated team, then we have introduced the report an error button. So if you scroll down on every pages, right, we have introduced this on the every pages of the Learn platform. If you scroll down on the bottom on the left hand side, you will always find one button named as report an error, that is highlighted in a gray color. So if you come across any content related error, you can directly click on report an error, right? So that dedicated team will get to know about the exact page where exactly the errors are found, and the team will rectify it. So what you are supposed to do is you have to share the brief about it, right? In case if any screenshots are required, you can just upload it there and you can submit it, right? This is about the academic support. Now, coming to the non-academic support, in case if you are facing any technical challenges on the platform, again you can use this report an error button. There are two options basically: content error and the technical support. Technical support, as in the technical errors coming in the platform. So you can report that to the tech support team. We have a dedicated technical support team also. In case if you are facing any challenge on the platform in terms of technical error, you can report them directly to the team. So these are the two mediums. One is for the academic. I'll reiterate again. For the academic support, discussion forum is something which will be your point of contact. And second is, in case of the content error, you can always click on the report an error button and report it to the content team, and our content team will get back to you within the span of 24 to 48 hours. For the technical error also on the platform, you can use the same button, report an error button, and report a technical error from the platform itself, right? Second is the student support team. So we believe in providing the human touch, right? This is the USP of Upgrad, that we provide a human touch to the program. So we have a dedicated upgrade buddy for you, right? Her name is Zarna Palicha. So she will be a point of contact throughout the learning journey. So Zarna will be available. I mean, for you to address your non-academic queries specifically. So you can note down a Telegram ID. It's visible on the screen. That is @Zarna underscore upgrade. So I believe most of you have already joined the Telegram channel and must have seen my email also. I have sent the email yesterday from the ID of epgpds@upgrad.com. So there I have mentioned two things. That is the welcome email along with the Telegram channel link. So please get in touch with Zarna on Telegram in case if you have any academic queries, non-academic queries, sorry. Zarna will be available from Monday to Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. On weekends, it will be a non-working day because it's a Saturday, Sunday will be weekly off for her. But yeah, on weekdays, she'll try and get back to you all as promptly as possible. So that's her Telegram ID. And Telegram group links were already shared on the email. What I will do is after I finish this with the PPTs, I'll just pin that link again in the chat section, so all of you can be on the same page and join the Telegram channel. So we'll be pushing the notification in the Telegram channel. In case if there are any important announcements, we will be making it live in the Telegram channel. Don't worry, we won't be spamming it, but yeah, whatever the important announcements are there, we'll be sending it there. So as a upgrade buddy, Zarna will help you all, engaging with you in terms of completion part, right? In terms of addressing your non-academic queries. In case if you find difficulties in raising the extension, if you're not able to make up to the submission or not able to join the live sessions and not able to find the recordings on the platform, please feel free to connect with Zarna, and she will do the best of the best possible to help you guys to solve your queries. Yeah, apart from that, in case if you want to write an email also to connect with Zarna, you can write to studentsupport@upgrad.com. So this will generate a ticket, and Zarna will again get back to you within 24 working hours on weekdays. Yeah. So this is the non-academic support piece which I have given you all a download of. Yeah. Moving on to the next slide. Sorry. Yeah. So this is how what we all have covered so far from the learning experience point of view, from the content and the learning journey from upgrad end. So I'll be answering the Q&A section. What are the questions you have from the program point of view or content point of view? Please feel free to share it, and I'll try to answer the maximum questions. And then we'll wait for Mr. Akash Dev to join and take you all through uh, uh, the industry standpoint, problem statements, and so. So please feel free to post your questions in the Q&A section.
Hey, Siddhant, think some learners have joined a bit late. Will they be getting the recording?
Oh yes, yeah. This session is actually recorded. We have made it live on YouTube as well. So as soon as the session is done, we will be sharing the recordings in the Telegram channel itself. So I guess yeah, classes will be on time. So if there are any communication for the live sessions, will be shared with you all. There is no live session planned right now. In case if there are any for the next week onwards, you'll be communicated. Don't worry about it. You'll be communicated in advance. That will be on the email. You'll be notified. And also, as I discussed in the Learn platform itself, we have integrated live sessions tab, so you can always check if there are any upcoming live sessions or if there are any recording also in case if you have missed on any sessions. So I think Priyanka has a doubt during the live session. If you have a doubt, you can always post it in the chat section of the live session, and the subject matter expert will try and answer those questions whatever you are posting in the chat section.
Yeah, just to
uh,
add to that, in case your doubts are, in the live session, during the live session, one is you can, of course, put in the chats. Second, I would recommend if the doubt that you have is very elaborate or something, right, then you have to write big, big paragraphs in the chat. Generally, I would recommend just raising your hand. Then the instructor can unmute you and you can explain your doubt. Okay. So that's during the classes. Siddhant, what about outside? I think, do they have access to the DFs, right?
Yes, absolutely. They have access to DF.
Yeah, so outside of that, if you have a lot of doubts, right, you can put it on the discussion forum, and you'll sort of start getting responses there.
So, Sudarshan, would you like to take up this question live? Somebody has posted that I am from non-technical background, and will there be
Yeah,
any
yeah.
problem for? Yeah.
Yeah, I can speak about that. So I did answer that, and I mean, I put in the chat, but then my chat was not set to public view. So let me, answer that again. So see, guys, we are spending a lot of time in course one on Python for this very reason, right? Be it, I mean, so suppose I'm from technical or non-technical background, right? We would need familiarity and expertise with Python specifically for data science. Uh, and as we all know, Python is kind of general purpose language. Okay, it's not super specific to data science or something like that, right? It's a very general purpose language. So yes, we will take some time to familiarize ourselves with the language, right? Which is exactly why we have so many weeks dedicated to Python. Like step by step we are sort of understanding all the data structures and data types and methods and things like that. On top of that, you're going to get practice questions, you're going to get ample opportunities for practice, right? So I wouldn't worry, right? I wouldn't worry at all. Suppose I had 1 or 2 weeks to understand all the Python required for data science, I would worry, right? But not to worry about this. We have so many weeks dedicated. And by the way, once we finish with course 1, in course 2 and course 3, again, you'll be using Python only. So if anybody is thinking that Python is something that we learn and close, that, okay, I'm done learning with Python, now I can move to something else. It's not necessarily best way to think like that. Python is an ongoing thing that you will learn more and more and more and more as you go from the start of the program till the end of the program, and then continue along with it uh, in your functional roles, right? So yeah, uh, not to worry about whether you will grasp or whether there are ample opportunities to grasp Python, things like that. There are ample opportunities. The very reason that we have designed the first course heavily on Python.
Perfect. So I can see most of you are posting in the chat section that whether the live sessions are starting from tomorrow, whether is there a live class tomorrow. I was told that program is starting from tomorrow. So now, uh, we have already made the prep content live on the platform. That is a pre-launch preparatory content, so you're expected to go through that. As of now, there is no live session in this week. Immediately now, whenever there are live sessions, you will be informed at least 4 to 5 days prior, right? And you will also be able to see it on the learn platform under the live tab. As soon as we schedule the sessions, right, it gets visible on the itself, like in the calendar itself, on the platform. So please do not panic, do not worry. Whenever there are sessions, we will definitely keep you all posted prior hand. And timings are something, we will also, included the along the date, the timings will be mentioned. Timings may vary as per the availability of the teaching associate. So don't worry, everything, all the schedules will be pre-informed. No one is going to give the sessions immediately next day. Yeah. Sudarshan, would you like to take this up? About the content part, live session, and somebody has mentioned that the live session will be 80% and the rest is the content.
Yeah, I mean, putting a number on that is kind of, because there may be, it depends on the instructors and things like that. There are a lot of variables that go into that, but we do sort of intend it to be that way, right? So there may be, pluses and minuses to that, right? But it's kind of intended to be a combination of live and recorded, right? Um, on that note, I think there's another question that I want to pick up. I did answer it in the chat, but I would like to, I think many may be thinking. So everyone is, I think, doing the preparatory content. And if I'm not wrong, the prep content is the Excel analysis, right? Analysis in Excel content. So I think there were some questions on, I'm still halfway through it. I've not completed the Excel prep content. Is it going to cause a problem? So there are two aspects to this question. One is, is it going to reflect in my, my grading, right? No, it is not going to reflect in your grading. Okay, it's not necessarily a mandatory content. So that's point number one. Point number two, is it going to affect your learning experience? Again, I would say no, to some extent, right? The preparatory content kind of gives you a sneak peek into, data handling, data formatting, data analysis, those kinds of things, right? It gives you a sneak peek using, the tool that we all know as Excel, right? Uh, but then you will sort of start with Python after that, correct? So a lot of the the projects and assignments and a lot of these things mostly depend on Python and SQL and some of these advanced tools, right? Now, in case there are any dependencies in Excel also, you can pick up the same thing later. even if you did not finish the Excel prep content right now, it's not immediately that you need to use it, right? In case, right, in the future, if there is some data set which you want to read in Excel or something like that, you can do that in your free time later. Yeah, not to worry, right? So not to worry about that. You can do that in your free time. The prep content can be done in your free time. No issues. Shakir says he's from law. What do I suggest? That's interesting. I would suggest that, I would suggest that trust in the calendars and trust in the, program process, Shakir, because in the end, that's exactly what is going to help all of us to, and as Siddhant said before, right, there are two aspects. One is the knowledge and other is the certificate, correct? So, uh, what I would say is that, keep sort of up to date with the program and the calendar and the updates and all of those things. Try to adhere as best as possible to the recommendations that we have given and the, workarounds and things like that, right? Which Siddhant and I have mentioned. That is the best advice I can give you, right? And I believe that will really help us. Yeah. Help us, including all of us, I mean. Yeah. Daily, so we have Parul, we have given weekly suggestions, correct? So from my experience, daily 2 to 3 hours is a good thing. Okay. I mean, if you can't do 2 to 3 weekly, then I would say, spend more when you can, right? But that's the average. If you're asking for some kind of average, I would say definitely 2 to 3 hours per day, right? Yeah, again, Honey says, I'm from finance. Don't worry, guys. Again, I reiterate that you will, after the first course, all of you will say that you are technical. Okay. You don't worry about this, right? Again, to reiterate, we have, so many practice opportunities, so many, weeks immediately devoted to technical skills, right? You're starting off with Python, right? So not to worry about that. So I mean, just check the curriculum, right? 9 weeks is course 1, which is Python for data science. Okay. So there'll be a lot of opportunities to practice that. So do not worry if you're from non-tech or something like that. And Python, by the way, even if you're from tech, right? Even if you're from tech with some other language, say C++ or R or something like that, or even Java, it will take time to learn Python, right? So it's exactly why we have such a large time devoted to the bread and butter of, DSML in today's age. Am I audible, Siddhant? Pratim says,
Yes, you're absolutely audible. There's no issue
yeah,
at all.
Pratim, you might have to rejoin and check your Zoom settings or something.
Uh, all right. Sudarshan, this last question, and then we can hand over the stage to Akash to take it ahead. We have Akash here in
Oh,
the
yeah.
session.
Hey, Akash. Welcome. Yeah. Which question,
Hey team.
Siddhant?
There is one question in the Q&A,
Yeah.
which says,
Akash, just give me 1 sec for this question and I'll hand it over to you.
Yep.
So, I'm an educator teaching high school computer science. Is there be any problem for my placement? So, see, learning problems you will not face, right? Gaining skills and those kinds of things, right? The whole program is designed in such a way that you leave this program with multiple skills and proof of concept, right? You'll be doing so many assignments, so many projects, right? Which you can showcase, which you can talk about. And you have a computer science teaching background, right? That's actually an advantage. Yeah. So for you, it's going to be a little bit even more like familiar, I suppose, right? Python and coding and all that. So in the sense of like having the skills and everything, the program is designed. It's designed to sort of produce that kind of skills in the learner, right? To transfer those kinds of skills to the learner, right? Now, when it comes to placements and things like that, definitely sort of use what you've learned here, and it shouldn't necessarily be any kind of problem like that. Okay. So I hope that answers the question, right? So pre-program, whatever your skill set is, post-program, your skill set is specifically designed for analyst roles, data analyst, business, those kinds of roles, right? Which is kind of why, it's 14 to 20 hours per week. So as long as we devote that amount of time, I would say that, in most likely there shouldn't be any blockers. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Sunil. So I believe Akash can take it from here now. So over to you, Akash.
Sure. Thanks, team. Hope I'm audible and visible.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, Akash.
Perfect. All right. Hey, everyone. I'll before we start on the agenda, right, I would like to introduce myself. It's always good to know who I am, right? So I'm Akash, and I have a decade of experience, and all of that has been into machine learning, data science, and analytics. I work as a senior data science consultant for a large management consulting firm. And prior to this, I worked with companies like Accenture, American Express, and United Health Group, right? So, uh, given a decade sounds too big, right? But it's just 10 years. So I've been into the data science space from 10 years, and I've worked on all kind of problem statements that you guys will learn in this course. It's going to range from descriptive analytics to inferential stats, and then predictive modeling, right? So I've worked on almost all the use cases which are around machine learning, normal analytics, dashboarding, coding, and I'll be, sort of giving you an idea on what is data science, what are the type of jobs, what are the type of roles you can expect, what are the kind of projects you can expect. We'll start from that, right? Cool. So with that, and whenever I'm taking any session or any agenda, right, I try to make sure that I ask questions every 15-20 minutes. So my monologue won't be really too big, right? I'll keep pausing after 10-15 minutes. So to get answers, to get questions from everyone and get their answers going on. Sounds good, everyone? Just a yes in the chat would be great. Perfect, right? So before I share my screen, I give you a lot of a lot of a lot of things about what is data science. What kind of projects do we work on? What do you expect when you're a data scientist or a data analyst? What can you expect in the organization? What are your general questions? Okay, let's start with Q&A. Let's make it a little more engaging and interactive, right? Let's see. What are your questions? So Ruchi, today I'll just give you an overview of things, right? I'll just give you a very bird level view of what is machine learning, what are different types of things we learn, what are the projects that we work on, the variety of projects, what tech stack we use. I think tech stack is one of the important thing that you all should know, right? So make sure I'll give you next 2-3 minutes so you can ask me questions. Use the Q&A button. There's a Q&A thing on which you can ask your questions. Use that. No questions? Oh, we have a question. Perfect. I am an architect changing domain. Is it going to be hard? See, I think I'll answer this question once for all. I think it's a very common question, and a lot of people are asking the same question in the previous when Sid was giving the answers, right? So this course is going to equip you with skills, right? And data science community is a very welcoming community, and usually your jobs are a deficit of supply and chain, right? So if there's more demand, let's supply and demand. So if there's more demand, there are lesser people who have the skill set. I don't think that is a problem. In my career, I've seen civil engineers, people graduating from commerce and arts background in data science, making it in data science and will be really good at it, right? So I don't see it as a problem. For some people, there might be a bit complexity because of their background, but if you bring enough skills to the table, I don't see that as a problem. Vaibhav, absolutely, I will answer that question. Do not worry about it. That what are the difference between data analyst and data scientist? After this course, where we can see even coming 1 year after course completion. I think with my experience, so this is an anonymous question. So Pradum, you can ask your question. I'll try and answer it if I can. In my experience, I have seen people landing a job sometimes during the course because there's a high will of change. So if you're one of those driven individuals, I don't see that as a problem. If that was your question. I've completed my bachelor degree in 2020 and there is a gap in my career. Will I be getting a job? Absolutely. I have seen a lot of people with gaps in their role, right? Gaps in their profiles. There is a bit of complexity. There are certain questions that are being asked, right? And why do you have a gap? If you have a genuine reason around it, I don't see it as a problem, right? And it's very natural there. We all, it's a high possibility, right? That everyone will not have a continuous career. So a lot of people take break to try something else. A lot of people take break to get into government. A lot of people take break just to relax. Sometimes it's cognitive overwhelm that people just are just tired of working. So of course there can be gaps in your profiles. There's a person who has asked this question from a Samsung phone. So we are learning multiple skills in the data science and AI. After this course, where can I fit? I will explain the different roles under data science. That's why I'm here. Do not worry about it. Right. Weber says, Ashish, when you say depends on the skill set you bring in, what skill sets are required, I'm committed towards it, complete as successfully. So Weber, it's Akash, not Ashish. And I'm answering that question in the next 5 minutes. Do not worry about it. What type of domains are there for the job? Again, we'll answer that question. Do not worry. I'm a fresh graduate computer science from Delhi University. Will there be any problem placement due to I'm a fresher? No, I don't see that as a problem. In my team, sometimes we hire freshers. I've seen a lot of organizations who prefer freshers because freshers are driven, right? I'm an educator teaching high school computer science in the last year. See, so another anonymous question. No one can predict the placement, right? But given you have a computer science background, they're placed to your advantage. And if you can bring enough skill set on the table, I don't see it as a problem. What are those skill sets? I will answer it now. So let's close the Q&A and I will explain what are the things you can expect from this course. How does that sound, everyone? Sounds good? Bad? Let me know. I'll share my screen. It's a Word file. It's a blank Word file. So don't get surprised that why am I sharing a blank Word file? But sure, I'll explain the complete landscape of how things are going to move forward, right? So that you all have a clearer picture. A yes would mean in the chat that you all can see my screen. So let me know if that's the case. Can you see? Let's say I'm writing HA. Can you see my screen? You can. All right, perfect. Perfect. So as you know, right, data science has multiple positions under one umbrella. Yes or no? I'm sure you all know what is you all have heard what is a data analyst, right? You all have heard of this term, yes or no? Then data scientist is one hot word that everyone wants to grab, yes or no? Right? Then we have business analyst, and then we have data engineers. Correct? Broadly, these are the 4 categories where you will see the different roles under data science. Now, sometimes a data science is called, data analyst is called as a business visualization engineer, a visualization analyst. A data scientist sometimes is known as machine learning engineer. A BA is sometimes just simply known as analyst. Correct, everyone? So, but mostly broadly, these are the 4 different kind of roles that you can expect. Now, I am going to ask you a few questions. Think and answer. You don't have to answer right away. What is common between all these 4 roles? What is common between all these 4 roles? Let's see the answer. Data. Okay, data, understanding of the data. Okay, data is the answer everyone is giving, right? To provide the data. Okay. Any other answer from just data? Analyzing the data. Okay. Think about it. I'll give you another minute. Your answer, I'm not saying your answer is incorrect. Your answer is absolutely right. Think about it. What could be the other option? Is my voice breaking?
No, Akash, it's clear.
No, okay, perfect. What is common between all these four roles apart from data? Chalo, data is the right answer apart from data. The common between all these roles are that you're solving a business problem. Yes or no? Right? The common between all these four roles is you're solving a business problem. The medium to solve that problem can be data. And to work on that data, you need to learn some skills. Correct? And this is the switch you all need to make to have a successful career in data science. A lot of people think I'll learn coding, I'll crack the job. Yes, maybe you will. But will you have a successful career in data science? I don't know. Because you are not only hired to write codes, you are hired to solve business problems. The medium to solve those business problems are to write codes. Yes or no? And that's the toggle you all should switch it on today onwards. Correct, everyone? Yes or no? And I'll puzzle you now, right? I'll give you a very simple example of why I'm saying this. Let's say you are a chroma store. Everyone knows a chroma store, right? Right? Or let's take a simpler example. Let's say you're Flipkart, right? Now, Webam, I'm repeating my question. Do not worry. Let's say Flipkart comes to you and tells our overall sales are declined by 15%. Correct? This is the problem statement given to you. And now they're asking why. Give me 2 reasons each. Why do you think the overall sales of Flipkart are declined by 15%? Let's quiz you all. I just need 2 reasons. Don't go into greater details. 2 reasons are sufficient. Let's see. Price. Okay. Okay. Price. Okay. Let's write more. Marketing. Service. Customer support. Products. Platform issue. Okay. Anything else? Competitor pricing. Good. Competitors. Discounts. Excuse my spellings. Competitors, discount. Okay. Quality. Okay. We have covered it. Anything that you see is not here. Anything that you see is not here. Lower volume sold, of course. That's why sales are less, Rachel. Warranty support. Okay. Now, if I was in your position, the first question I will ask is, and now think about it and tell me if this question is right or wrong. Is 15% sales across India? Across India? Or in a particular region of India, sales are declined by 30%, but in North, they are increased by 10%. Yes or no? What do you think? Is that a right question to ask or not? Let's say if I want region-wise breakup, right? Now, once I have region-wise breakup, let's say I get to know in North, South, and East, my sales are up by 4% year on year. But in West, my sales are declined by 20%, right? Now, I have a focus area that I need to focus on West. There is something wrong with the waste. Yes or no? And then I go into all these reasons. Yes or no? What's the problem? Why are the people who are in West are not using my platform, right? Why are they preferring competition? What's wrong? Is my service an issue in those places? What's wrong in it? Yes or no? Right? So coming back to this, right? To do analysis. So when we talk about whys, we need to prove those whys. Is price a problem or not? Is marketing the problem or not? Is service a problem or not? Is customer support a problem or not? How will you get to know if these things are problematic or not? What will you do? You will do some analysis. Yes or no? And you will do analysis on the data given to you, or data sourced by you. Yes or no? And how will you do analysis? You will need to use certain coding skills. Correct? So the core of becoming a data person is you solve a business problem, you use data to solve that business problem, and to understand the data, you learn coding skills, certain different type of algorithms, which will help you out in that. A lot of people think I am good with SQL, I'll crack a job. Well, you might, not denying that. Of course, who am I to comment that you will not be able to? But you need to understand, when a company is hiring you, they're hiring to solve a greater problem that they are not able to solve. And that's why they require your skill set. Clear, everyone? I think I've put in a lot of emphasis on problem solving. And after this session, when you go on LinkedIn and search for data analyst jobs, data scientist jobs, you will see this as a common theme, that a person should be able to solve business problems, should have a great knack of thinking, should be able to break down the problem statement. You will see this common across all the jobs, right? Cool. Now, what's the next thing you will have common for all this skill set? Tell me, apart from solving a business problem, what's another common thing between all these skill sets? What do you think? Now everyone is taking time. Good. Communication skills. So let's talk technical. Let's talk technical. So communication skill is a soft skill. Ruchi, I'm about to answer that question. Analyzing customer needs. Let's talk technical. What are other skill sets which are common? SQL is the right answer. Vijay. Excel, correct. Okay. Maybe Power BI and Python, right? So when I say skills, you need to learn certain coding languages. The popular languages out there is, I won't even call Excel, because Excel is a very simple tool. So you should know Excel for sure. Yes. Then you should be aware of Python and SQL. All right. So these are the common skill sets that you should know. Yes or no? And this is true for all 4 roles. This is common. So I will not repeat this multiple times. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? So I will not repeat it. These are common. You all should know. I'll mark this as green so that, yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about a data analyst. And all the examples that I'm about to give you, all the explanations I'm about to give you are true in an ideal world. Every organization, they define their hierarchy, their roles differently. I'm giving you an idea of what you can expect from each of these roles. Clear? So do not think what I'm telling is, Bible, right? It can change. For Amazon, a data engineer's definition would be different. For a TCS, for a Wipro, for a Google, for an HCL, it would be different. Correct? Cool. A data, again, will not repeat these 3 skill sets, assuming this is common. Ideally, a data analyst works on visualization. And the two most popular tools for visualizations are Tableau, Power BI. Yes, no, everyone has heard of Tableau and Power BI? Now, a very fair argument that will come to me is, what if I don't know Tableau BI, Power BI, but I know another tool which is Google Data Query or something else? That's fine. There are a lot of players in the market, right? So if you know one of the visualization tools, that should be okay. Tableau and Power BI are usually the most popular ones in the market right now, right? And of course, problem solving. Sorry, I think I've told you about so much about problem solving. I forgot to write it down here, right? So the role of a data analyst is to understand problem statement, clean the data, work on data, and try to create beautiful visualizations from the data set, which can be on Tableau and Power BI. This does not mean that data analysts won't do other jobs, but ideally this is what they are going to do. All right. Now you can, okay, I'll come to additional skills later. As a data scientist, you will work a lot on machine learning algorithms. Correct? I'm not sure if you know machine learning algorithm. I'll just give you some example: linear regression, logistic regression, right? To name a few. And then random forest, decision trees, k-means, ADA boost, XGBoost, all those fanciest things that you keep on reading, right? So a data scientist's job is to do predictive modeling using machine learning algorithm. Yes or no? Everyone? I just remove a bit of text from the screen so that it does not look too text heavy, right? Then we talk about predictive modeling is nothing but when you're trying to predict the future. Will it rain tomorrow or not? Will Webber buy an iPhone or not? Will Akash click on an advertisement or not? Right. So in predictive modeling, we have natural language processing, deep learning, everything embedded in it. Right, Ruchi? In a lot of cases, you may work on deep learning projects, you may not, but it's part of machine learning space. Right. Let's move forward, everyone. Clear with the questions, answers? And I'm about to pause in next 5 minutes. Don't worry, we'll answer all the questions if there are left. Then we have data engineers. Data engineers, I think, are the most important for an organization because they manage our data pipelines. You can call them warehouses. And the process to do them is ETL. It is known as extract, transform, load. And there are different kind of tools that you use. There are a lot of Apache Scoop, Apache Kafka, Apache Pig. There are a lot of PySpark, Spark SQL. There are a lot of tools which help you in doing your ETL jobs, right? So I'm not mentioning all of them. A lot of companies, they use different tool sets, right? So just keeping it here. A business analyst is a person who has business domain knowledge, right? Plus data knowledge. Now, is there anyone who's here with more than 5 to 8 years of experience in the chat? Just write yes if you are. Do not write no. Okay, web of is. Web of which domain are you from? A lot of people are. Okay, people who are writing, when I say domain, which market? Is it insurance? Is it health? Ops. Okay, ops. Anyone else in a particular market? Banking ops. Perfect, right? So let's say Vaibhav has 8 years of experience into banking. Bhagyashree has experience in finance, right? You can leverage your existing domain knowledge to change your job into data, but in a business domain. So you would have a bit of advantage because you are coming back with some domain knowledge. Yes or no? Right? So business analyst is a person who has domain knowledge with and couples it up with data knowledge. Now, in freshers' case, they might land a job as a business analyst with zero business knowledge. So that's their learning curve. They try to learn the business and they try to move forward with it. Clear, everyone? Again, this is a very bird's eye view of things, right? I have not dived into detail because right now we're not in a position to discuss in detail. There are some additional skill set sometimes companies expect, that is cloud knowledge. Everyone knows what is cloud, and I'm not talking about the cloud in the sky. Everyone knows cloud, AWS, GCP, Azure, right? Sometimes companies expect you to know PySpark, Spark, And not in detail, that's fine. I also do not know in detail. So there are additional skill set that you might need to learn, right? But overall, as far as the roles are concerned, these are the roles from a bird's eye view. It changes for every organization. In my previous organization, a data analyst was doing machine learning. In some organizations, you are a data scientist, but you are doing visualization also. For example, my last project was a Power BI project. Given my designation as data scientist, I am versatile enough to work across different roles and responsibilities. So as you grow forward, move forward in your career, of course, you're expected to have multiple wings, but this is an ideal role play that you see on my screen. It's not mandatory, right? Ruchi, it's good to know. A lot of organizations, they expect people to know. It's good to know. I'll stop sharing my screen. Please ask the questions in the Q&A forum, right? Ask whatever questions that you may have, and I'm happy to answer all those questions. Make sure it's in Q&A so I do not miss anything on the chat. Are you guys telling me that my explanation is so good that you have no questions? If you're saying that, I'll take that as a compliment and move on, right? Let me know. No open questions till now. I'll wait for another minute. If not, okay, we have a question. Perfect. What does ML algorithm means? Correct, fair question. So let's say, honey, I ask you, iPhone launches every year, right? In October, Tech October, that's why we call it, because iPhone launches every October. Yes or no, honey? Right? And when an iPhone launches, the sales of the iPhone usually increase. Correct? So how would you detect this pattern? So let's say Apple comes to you and tells, can you do a sales forecasting for me? Can you tell me how many iPhones I will sell next year? Right? Correct? So you need historical data to understand what happened in previous years and to predict what's going to happen next year. So your machine learning algorithms, they try and learn patterns from the historical data and predict the future. There are certain algorithms which thankfully we do not need to write from scratch. There are packages, libraries, modules available in Python. You can simply call this algorithm and start working at it directly. So the job becomes very easy for us. Right? Please tell me, when will the classes start? Parul, I think this question has been answered by Siddhant, right? That you will get to know about your classes a week or 4 to 5 days prior at least. Siddhant, I think can take this question once we are done with the tech part of it again. I'm into banking sales. How will help me? It will, Sonal, you got to figure out how your organization is using data science. It does not matter if you're in sales, if you're in a KPO, right? Your company is using data science somewhere, right? Figure out the use case that your company is using it in and try to get into it, right? Cool. I think, Sonal, I've answered this question. For a fresher in this field, it is mandatory to learn all the skills which you mentioned place for a job, or it can be any one of two skill set. So more if you're planning to build a very strong skill set, right? I'll give you a very simple example. Okay? Who all have fear of coding, or who all have fear of writing codes? Let's see. Type yes in the chat. A lot of people might have it. Right? People at least who are coming from non-tech backgrounds might be very scared. Who will write the code? Yeah, it's very difficult. I've never done coding. I left coding in 8th class. I don't know, right? Assumptions. Yeah. We are a country of 160 crore people. Yes or no? We are the largest nation in the world, right? Let's say 1% of our population works in IT. That makes it how many crores? 1.6 crore. Yes or no? Yes or no? Let's say out of this 1.6 CR, 10% of the people work in coding, which makes it 16 lakh. Yes or no? Let's say out of this 10%, then out of the 16 lakh people, 5% of the people write code, or let's say 10% of the people write code in Python and SQL. That makes it 1.6 lakh. Yes or no? If 1.6 lakh people can code, you all can also code. The only difference between those people versus you is they put in time to practice, and now you are putting in time to practice. Python is such an easy language to learn. It seems like you're talking in English. You're writing codes in English with certain syntaxes. Python is not a difficult language at all. If you compare, is there a Java developer in this batch right now? Is there anyone who's working on Java? Pradum, are you working on Java? Right? I mean, ask the pain of a Java developer, a C# developer, a C++ developer, right? What all things they need to do when they are writing codes. Python has made it very easy, right? So Python is a very simple language to learn. There's nothing to be scared. Mohan, now answering your question that will I have to learn all the skill set? If you want to make your profile really impressive, my answer to that would be yes. If you want the top dollar, top money, my answer to that would be yes. I just wanted to give you a landscape. If so many people can code, you can also code. It's not difficult. I'll give you my example. I am coming from a non-coding background. I did electronics engineering because I didn't want to do computer science. All right, because I didn't like to code. And here we are, right? So do not worry, coding is not difficult. And that's why you've joined this course, that you will learn coding and you will be able to crack a job, right? If you're good enough at it. I'm weak in stats. I'm weak in statistics. I'm weak in maths. Is statistics important? It has its importance, Ruchi. Again, no one would expect you to be 100 on 100, right? But it has its importance. Cloud is a must. No, cloud is not a must. It's a good to have. Will it be a problem to crack interview if one does not have any knowledge on cloud computing? No, anonymous attendee. No, I don't have a lot of cloud knowledge, and I have cracked a few interviews. My answer to that would be no. What about freshers? How about their placements? What's your question? Be very specific. I see people getting placed as freshers. And for freshers, the road is open, right? A lot of companies are ready to accept freshers. Mathematical part of machine learning or stats is useful placement or job. Yes, it is, Ruchi. Sometimes questions are being asked on the machine learning, the mathematical part of how a machine learning model works. It also depends if you're targeting that role. Let's say not even targeting a machine learning engineer's role, right? That you should not worry. But my assumption or my senses would be you should have some clarity and some awareness about all these things. Clear, everyone? Cool. How much salary will get? Best question of the night. And I unfortunately do not have an answer to it. And I have a rationale why I do not have an answer to it is a lot of companies, they have different salary brackets. And your salary is a function of not just the skills that you have, of the background that you have, right? So it's very difficult to pinpoint what exactly your salary will be. Well, I hope you end up earning the top dollar, right? A lot of money, right? But unfortunately, I do not have an answer. For example, some service-based companies in India, they start paying you from 8 LPA. Some start from 5 LPA. Amazon starts from 16 LPA. Amazon is one outlier, but a lot of companies start around 6 to 8 LPAs, right? But a few companies start from 3 to 4 LPAs as well. So it depends where you crack an interview. It depends how you're going to sit in an interview and give answers. It also depends the kind of role that you're applying for. Are you going to prepare us for interviews and CV? I think I would rather have Siddhant take that question, Shakir. So I'm taking all the technical questions. Siddhant will be coming back and answering this. How much time did I spend for practice and prep when I was a learner? I want to know that much. See, it took me, to be honest, 2 to 3 months to be good at coding, right? And I'm being absolutely honest. And on those two to 3 months, right, you need to focus solely. I mean, I'm not saying forget your weekends, forget your friends, right? But a lot of your focus should be on coding, right? Because when the end goal for you guys would be to land a job, you will only land a job when you have enough knowledge, right? The course can help you with content. The course can help you in learning experience. The course can help you in assisting you with queries. But I cannot help you in clearing your interviews. I wish I could. I would take interviews on your behalf and land you all a new job, but I can't do that, right? And then what matters is when you sit in an interview, how you're answering, right? And to reach that stage, you need to practice coding. You need to practice all the concepts that you'll be learning here. Vaibhav says one of my friends has landed a job with 19 LPA moving from a non-tech. I've seen a lot of stories like this, Vaibhav. I'm not surprised. It's very common. You will learn if you have problem with maths, right? Will we get placements from upgrade? I think this question has already answered in the start, but I'll again let Siddharth take these 2-3 questions. Siddharth, I hope you're with me, right? Just taking note on these questions. More questions? Anything specific on the kind of work you will be doing, something like that? Anything on those lines? Okay, 2 more questions. I just try. Okay. You're providing materials related to interviews. So again, the question around interviews, interviews are right now too far. I think your focus should be on learning and not interviews. To be honest, right? I mean, you're not interviewing tomorrow or in a week, right? Your interviews, I think, will be part of will come after, I believe, good chunk of your course, which is 6 to 8 months from now, or 3 to 4 months now, basis the duration of your course. So do not worry around the interview process. You will, I mean, I can line up 100 companies for interviews, right? As long as you have the knowledge, you'll clear one of them. But even if you do not have the knowledge, how will you clear, right? No, you can assume coding and programming is different right now in this context. Akash, will you be part of any curriculum delivery? I might be. Vaibhav, you will keep seeing me going on and off. But even if I'm not, I am always happy to connect, right? I can help you with certain things if you have any confusions. Guys, I'll take, you can still ask questions in the chat. Just give me a minute. I'll have some water. I've been speaking from past 40 minutes. Just give me a minute. I'll have some. Will you be taking our live classes? I think I have answered that. You might see me come and go, but I'm always happy to help and connect, right? So Shakir, Upgrad has more than capable set of experts on their panel, right? Which I mean best in the industry, to be honest. And I'm not trying to glorify myself, but Upgrad do have a great set of faculty, and they will be assisting you and helping you out with the course. Cool. More questions? Anyone who has a background in Python, or anyone who already is part of data science community here on this batch? Let's see. Is there anyone who's part of data science ladder, just here for upskilling? Is there anyone? Only write a yes if you are, else don't write it. That's fine. Yeah. Anyone who knows, I think there are a few Python developers. Vaibhav, I think you are one of them, right? You know Python. Am I audible? You learned a bit of Python 7 months ago. Okay. You know very basic. Okay. Acha, people know it, right? Yeah. Acha, Ashish works on visualization order. So we have people who work in data domain, right? Basics. Got it. I think basics. We all start from basics anyway, right? Working on Power BI. Got it. Cool. I'll quickly share my screen and I'll just, give you as a data scientist what I do, right? I'll give you an overview, right? Hope my screen is visible to all. So whenever I work on a problem statement, right, and I'll give you an example from an understanding of a machine learning project, and I'll keep it very basic, right? The step one that I do is I understand the problem state, and that will be the step one for you guys as well. Understanding the problem statement. That why are we solving it? What's the pain point? And what happens when I solve it? Right? So if you work on any project, you need to understand, right? A project should either save money or time. That's when it's a useful project, else it's not, right? Then your step 2, 3, and 4. Let's say step 2 and 3. Again, I'm trying to keep it as descriptive as possible. I'm not going into a lot of details. Again, because you guys do not have a lot of background, right? Step 2 and 3 is primarily right. Checking the data. What are your rows and columns? How many columns do you have? How many missing values do you have? What are your data types? What is the distribution? You summarize your data set primarily, right? Then your step 3 comes around. Step 4 basically comes around. You clean the data. And this is a very important step. So let me ask one tricky question. If your data is not good enough, will you get good answers from the data? Yes or no? If your data is bad, can you build a good model? No, right? Of course, if your data is not good, your patterns are not right, you will never have a good results from your data set, no matter what you do. So cleaning a data becomes a very important step. In cleaning the data, we do multiple things. We do missing values. We do a thing called outliers, which are very popular, right? And then we go towards fancier things, which are known as, variable transformations, right? Feature engineering, right? This all sounds very difficult. It's not. It's very easy. And as you move forward in the course, you'll find it very easy, right? Step 6 becomes you build a model, and there are certain things you do when you build a model, right? I'll call them A, you split. I'll call them B, you build. I'll call them C, you evaluate, and then B, you improve, right? Again, not breaking them down into further steps for simplicity's sake, right? And then your step 7 would be, sorry, something wrong with my keyboard. The step 7 becomes you deploy the model, deploy, productionalize, deliver, you can call it whatever, right, to deliver the model. So broadly, these are the steps you do. Some of these steps remain common if you're a data analyst or a data scientist. You do clean the data, you check your data, you check the distribution of your data. This is a life cycle of a data science project. It looks too simple, but it has its complexities. And to do these 6, 7 steps, you need to learn a lot of things, right? And that's why you're in this course. You will be learning all those things. Clear, everyone? Perfect. With that, I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll see if there are some last set of questions that you want to ask, else I'll give the stage back to Siddhant. So the floor is open. Feel free to ask the questions now. I hope this was a good explanation of roles of data science or data analyst, and you guys have some clarity, if not completely. Yes or no in the chat. Right. And of course, there are very thin lines, right, between sometimes the roles, the way organizations define their roles. And you will keep seeing the difference when you do your own research on LinkedIn, when you do your research on Naukri.com, right? So again, the explanations that I have given you are very ideal in nature. In an ideal world, this is how it happens. But of course, when we go into the real world, things change a bit, and you will realize it as you continue on this journey. if I want to put my own time and learn, like seeing YouTube videos or something, which one would you suggest? I think on the internet, right, there are enough content out there, but the missing part is structure, which this course provides. Content, though, I mean, even if you ask ChatGPT to make a curriculum for you, it will do that, right? But the structure is missing, the personalized learning is missing, right? For example, you're stuck somewhere, who will you ask the question, right? That ecosystem is missing. I think that's where the advantage of this course comes in. Again, just an example, but there is enough content out there on the market that you can leverage to make your learning better, right? I'm not going to name any YouTube channels because there are so many of them, right? But you will find enough learning material online. Cool. All right, then. If there are no more questions, probably I'll wait for a few minutes and let me know your last thoughts. And do not hesitate in asking questions for sure. I believe in getting answers to all the questions, right? Because when you're taking up a course, you are of course concerned about the ROI, return on investment. You guys asked a lot about placements, etc., etc., right? And it's a process. It's not a transaction that you do something and I'll get you placed. No one can do that, right? It's a process, and all your queries uh, throughout this journey should be clear. So this comment is not just for this session, but for overall your program, and be it upgrade all your jobs, right? Make sure you're very vocal. Make sure you get your questions answered, right? That's how we all learn. Can I talk about data science and healthcare unit? Yes, I have worked for healthcare companies, so I have a bit of expertise on that, right? I worked for one of the largest healthcare company in the world based in US, right? Wherein we worked a lot on claim data, patient data, who will come back to the hospital, who will not come back to the hospital, should we accept a claim, reject a claim, and we did a lot of fancy analysis on that data. So in healthcare, a lot of analysis, data science stuff is going on. OnePlus asks when the classes are going to start. I think this question has been a repeat. You will get your calendar blocked 4 to 5 days prior. So again, I'll let Siddhant answer that question. Suggest some books to study. I'm really sorry. When I left engineering, I left all my books in my engineering college. Unfortunately, I don't read a lot, which is not a very good habit, a very healthy habit to have. I'm sorry, I cannot answer that. I wish I could. I don't want to even make recommendations because I've not personally gone through them, right? So I'm sorry, I will not be able to make a recommendation on it.
Hey Akash, hi. I
Oh,
guess you
hi,
want me to answer any question?
Siddharth, yes, there has been a question. I think you've already answered it, but it would be nice if you can
Okay.
just repeat that. A lot of questions are around when are the classes going to start and what time. So if you
Okay.
can take that up, yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Perfect. So right now we have the preparatory content live on the platform. So you all are expected to go through those recorded lectures on the platform as of now, right? There is no live session right now in this week, right? But then whenever we have a session, we will be keeping you all informed at least 4 to 5 days prior, right? I'll repeat myself. We will keep you all informed at least 4 to 5 days prior. It won't be a scenario where the lectures are there immediately next day and we are keeping you informed like maybe 24 40 hours. That's not going to be a scenario, right? So don't worry about it. There are no live classes right now. It's just that a preparatory content on the platform, right, is something which you're supposed to complete it. So it's a pre-launch preparatory content. Again, it is not graded. There are no scores associated with it. It's just that a pre-recorded lectures which are supposed to do it. And if there are any optional questions, please try and answer those. So I don't know, OnePlus somebody, yeah. So you have to go on learn.upgrad.com. I'll just send it here. Learn.upgrad.com, right? That's your learning portal. You have to sign in there and you have to start learning. Now, in case if there are any live sessions planned, you will be notified over an email. Apart from that, you will get to see upcoming lectures also on the Learn platform. So on the Learn platform, you will find three different segments. That is Learn, Live, right, and Discussion Forum. So if you click on Live, you will get to see your live sessions if there are any planned, upcoming, completed. So you can attend the live sessions from there. You can refer to the recording also from there. Recordings are also from there. Yeah, I guess this answers the questions. We have been told live classes will start from 30th September. It's a little confused. No, so you were told, Sonal and everyone, that the program launch welcome webinar will take place from 30th September, which we have actually preponed it and we are taking it now so that we all can give you the clarity prior and itself, right? Live sessions will start soon. You will be notified soon about it, right? At least 4 to 5 days prior. So please get this confusion out here that there are no live sessions tomorrow, right? This was a welcome webinar, something which was communicated to you, which will be there, which was supposed to be conducted tomorrow, but then we have conducted prior hand so that there won't be any confusion for you guys. Yeah, I hope this is clear now. Quick yes or no in the chat section, please. Perfect, great. All right. Over to you, Akash. If we are done, then we can conclude the session also because I can't see any
Yeah,
questions now.
yeah. I think I've pretty much answered all the questions, Siddhant. I think we are pretty good as far as the Q&As work. So yeah, I think there's one more question which is around pre-launch. Otherwise, I think
Okay,
we are good with it. Yeah.
super. So, Pradipna, you have to log into learn.upgrad.com, right? It should be there. So if you log in right, it directly redirects you to the program, whatever your program you've enrolled for. That is the GCP program, and under the courses tab, you will find your pre-launch content. So it should
Yeah,
be
I
on
think
the
you'll be
app
able
as
to.
well. Yeah,
Sorry, Siddhant. Yeah.
no problem. So you'll be able to see it on the app as well. I mean, there are no issues as such. Both things are equally integrated, platform as well as the application. In case if you face any difficulties on the app, what you can do is take support@upgrad.com. So in case if you're facing any difficulties in the app, maybe take the screenshot of it and write to tech support@upgrad.com and team will assist you further, right? But actually there are no issues as such because right now I'm just scrolling through the app and I'm able to see it very clearly that it's available there. But in case if you feel that there is some error in your portal because it's available on the server, so I'm able to see it. So if you feel if there are anything wrong with your app particularly, you can just share a screenshot with the tech support team. Yeah, yeah. Over to you, Akash.
Cool. I think Siddhant, I think there are no tech questions. So from my end, I think we can wrap up.
Perfect then. Yeah. Thanks so much everyone for joining the program, and I wish you all the very best. Do get in touch with Zarna in case if you have any non-academic queries. I believe you already have received an email or yesterday stating the Telegram channel link as well as Zarna's Telegram ID. So do get in touch with her in case if you have any doubts. And on this note, we will conclude the session. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Have a great long weekend. Thanks.
Thanks, Akash,
Yeah.
for
Thanks.
taking this.
Bye. Yeah.